We're going to start repairing these holes now. We're going to mix the 100% solid epoxy. We're going to add color quartz to it to make it into a peanut butter type mix, and we're going to fill all the deep cracks and all the spalling marks, the little dishes. These real shallow areas we're going to do afterwards, and we're going to do that just with liquid. We're not going to put any color quartz, and we're going to pull a serrated squeegee over the top that will pull it in and let it flow down to the bottom. This is a 3-to-1 mix, so I'm going to mix up about a pint right now. So I'm going to fill it to the second line with the catalyst. And then I'm going to fill it to the 1, 2, 3 lines up to the top here with the epoxy. I'm being careful not to spill these on the floor because I don't want to have the non-catalyzed product on the floor. Now I'm going to start coating. So now what I'm doing is I'm just putting it in the cracks. I can just force it in this way, or sometimes I just take it with my hand, a gloved hand, and I'll push it back and forth. Now this product's going to set up in 15 to 20 minutes in the pail, so I got to keep moving. Once I get it on the floor, the cement cools it, so it's going to take a lot longer. So. Now I could use a putty knife on this. I find that sometimes the stick is just as easy. I'm trying to get the excess off the floor because anything I leave behind will glue itself on, and I'll have to remove that tomorrow when we do the second coat. Now out here in the sunshine where it's got heat on it, it's going to set up even faster, so I want to move it pretty fast to get it into the hole. Now I also don't have to worry about being perfect because anything that doesn't turn out the way I like it today, I'll just catch tomorrow. So the main thing is I want it to be flat, and I want to try to get up some of this debris. Now, these little crumbs, we're going to just take our broom in a few minutes and sweep those up. Most of those will come out. Now here's a little hole. I just pull it over that. Over here. Pull it. The nice thing about a stick is it's long enough where you can use it like a squeegee and you can pull a nice wide spot over it. Sometimes I'll put little bits where I'm going to use it if I'm worried about it heating up too fast, and these little pieces will keep cool because they're out of the pail. Now I'll come back and I'll brush those in when I get a chance. Okay. Also, we're going to be filling this whole edge here. This is quite a bit of material, but I'll just demo here until we mix some more how we're going to fix this edge. We're just going to pull it all the way in here. Now, because it's epoxy, it's going to harden real and glue itself in nice and tight. But we might get a hairline crack here someday. And I'm going to try to keep, we're not going to be painting out here apparently, so I'm going to try to keep it as much inside as I can without staining it. And again, tomorrow when we do this, if we have a little uneven spot, we'll just take the grinder and we'll knock it off. You see there's a mark here. It looks like chain mark or something from something that scraped it. I can fill it with the color quartz, or I could try to get it with my liquid, but the liquid sometimes leaves a little surface tension edge, so I'm going to try to get it with the the filler instead, and then I'm pretty sure it's going to stay flat. Remember, I'm not worrying about all these crumbs. I'm going to sweep those up in a minute. So I'll use as much as I can, but the crumbs aren't going to be a problem for me. These little hairline cracks I'm just going to rub in with my hand because they're just too narrow to find. Now as we go along, we're going to keep track of this. When this starts to kick over, it'll start getting hot, and we'll feel the edge of the pail will start getting hot. When that happens, I'm going to go to that big crack and just dump it in there, because I don't want to have any here. If it gets hot and hardens on me while I'm working with it, I can have a big lump, and then I'd have to grind that off. One of the nice things is we used to try to fill all these with just liquid, and the problem is sometimes the liquid would flow through out the bottom. And sometimes the liquid would have a surface tension and leave a little bumpy edge, a little like a drop of water or honey on it. But when we use the trowel mix, there's no surface tension and it won't flow through out the bottom. And originally thought it took too much time, but as you can see, Steve and I are going to have this all done in about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll have all these cracks done. We are moving a little fast because we don't want it to set up on us. But I only mixed half a batch, and we'll mix more if we need to. Now as you notice, I'm not trying to get these little shallow spots. These grains are too big and it would just be a mess for myself. So I'm going to use liquid on that on the next try here. And where the cracks are little, I'm just grabbing it with my hand and pushing it into them. And then we'll use the broom to sweep off the excess. Well, this is what happens when the epoxy sets. You don't use it quick enough. So now the problem is if you had that on your floor and it starts kicking over, it'll harden in that way and then you'd have to chip it off or grind it off again. So yeah, this is no good now. Yeah, so it's, once it starts getting hot, you have to throw it. Now that'll get to about 180, 190 degrees. It won't set anything on fire, but it's still pretty hot.